You'll rue the day, Disney.
Mufasa and the prince who would come to be known as Scar became brothers.
Hello.
I'm about to get so upset. See me crash out for real.
What's your name?
Mufasa. King will never accept a stray.
Y'all about to see. Disney. You'll rule the day, Disney. They are now retconning and saying Mufasa was a stray. Mufasa. Woo! Let me relax. Usa. Mufasa. Butchering my favorite, animated IP of all time, but okay. Yeah.
Stray? I'm just lost.
They made Scar into a little nice cub. What happened to there's always a bad apple in every family? He was always like this. What happened to that? Scar being Scar.
Associate with outsiders. Taka is the future king. We must protect the blood.
Mufasa being the older brother and being the stronger lion. Scar was just much weaker. It was a lot more compelling story and why Scar went the way he did. And he was more clever. He wasn't the nice, we love each other. Oh my gosh, Mufasa. No, it was the fact that he was too clever for his own good. He was a smart ass. That's what makes, Scar, but okay.
Line.
But Dad, I saved his life.
They're not blood brothers, which lessens the impact of, Scar murdering his brother. Since this is actually, an adaptation of Hamlet. Let's just throw that all the way. Yes.
Secret Mufasa. I always wanted a brother.
How do y'all butcher two legendary characters in the one trailer? I don't care if it's the live action. It says Lion King on it. My Lion King. Okay. Yeah, the greatest animated movie of all time. I dressed up as a Lion King 4 years in a row as a kid, nigga. It's a masterpiece, I tell you. A masterpiece! We're just ruining the story. I don't want to hear, this is an original story. I don't want to hear it. We never done the Mufasa side mission DLC story before, okay? So it still would have been original. How about we just do it right? But, you have to make Mufasa the underdog. We have to make Mufasa, we have to show that Mufasa earned it, we gotta show Scar in a more, a more empathetic character instead of him just always being he's kind of iffy, kind of sus. We can't go that route. We can't go that route because we can't make a story about Mufasa always just being that nigga. We can't do that. This is just not Scar, bro. Scar would look down upon this type of activity. This is not Scar. There's a difference between somebody changing over time, but that doesn't mean their characterization would change over the time. Just because you have character development doesn't mean your characterization changes. His personality is still his personality.
You and Taka together, that is home. Now both of you go.
I don't know why. Also, the CG in the background looks off. Maybe it's just not finished. But at the same time, it does look like they added more expression versus the first film, but they look even more odd now. Is that Kimba the White Lion?
The circle is broken. There will be one Lion King.
Did they make Kimba the White Lion King? Disney said, yeah, fuck all your conspiracies, okay? Kimba the White Lion is the villain in the story. Please tell me his name is Kimba, please. I mean, there's just so many different ways we could have done this. Listen, am I totally against Scar and Mufasa not being actually brothers? Not necessarily, because there's always been theories out there of Mufasa and Scar not being actually blood related. Simply the fact that, Scar and Mufasa don't look like each other. Scar has a British accent for some reason. So I'm not totally against that necessarily. There's actually a lot of interesting theories out there, especially if you get into IRL lion lore, okay? And there's been theories out there that Mufasa is not from the Pride Lands. Lions don't work like humans. You don't become the pride of the pack by giving it to your son. Like, that doesn't... There's no nippo babies in lion universe, okay? The strongest gets the meat, all right? Lion lore, they actually kick out their cubs, if they're males, out the pride to go fend for themselves. If you're going to go that route, I feel like there's a much more interesting stories if that Mufasa and Scar are not from the Pride Lands. You can still keep Mufasa's characterization intact, and you can keep Scar's characterization intact. You don't have to turn Scar into this good, I'm a good guy, and I'm hilarious. Mufasa and him could be chill the whole way through, but he's still not a good guy. He's still very jealous. He's still delusional, right? Because he thinks he can rule better than people just because he thinks he's smarter than everybody. You can still have that a recurring theme in the movie. He's not just this regular nice line. It's just that it's silly. You're not just changing the lore, you're changing the characters. What makes the difference in the character why Scar would still be bad, basically you're just saying, oh, Mufasa deserves the kingdom because he just has better virtue than you, versus in this script, in some way Scar was a good guy, or Scar was, you know, had a better personality, or was somehow more likable or somewhat good, but something happened along the road that turns him evil. Scar basically being the SERP. That's basically what y'all saying. Y'all saying he's the next in line. Now you're saying somehow that gets taken away from him, which makes him way more understandable, but Scar doesn't need to be understood. Bro, Disney, I'm available, Disney. I'll rewrite this, postpone this movie. I'm trying to see Sonic 3 anyways. Sonic 3 is getting the first view. Okay, it's getting the first watch. Postpone this movie. I'll rewrite the entire script. I promise. Y'all couldn't help yourselves but to make Scar into an empathetic villain instead of making to what he really is, which is more like a Loki, because you're creatively bankrupt. I just hate the whole, oh, we had to make it like almost like an underdog story, bro. Not everything has to be an underdog story.
I signed up for this. We're alive. I did it. I saved us.
It's just, that's not Scar, bro. This is not Scar. You'll rue the day, Disney. Like, you'll pay for one day, Disney. You'll rue the day. Cue the music.
Exile.
No!
Deception. Disgrace. Crazy that The Lion King 2 isn't particularly great, and The Lion King 1.5 is definitely not great. But Disney somehow made me appreciate both of those films. I don't know how that's possible. Right now, I think Lion King 2 is a dang masterpiece, okay? Thanks, Disney.